In this video we'll talk about JWT or JWT, JSON Web Tokens. If you're new to this channel, we're Backend Simplified, the home for backend developers, and we are working with JWT over the last decade. Our plan for this video is to see what is JWT, why they are so common, see their structure, and finish with the best practices when working with them. Make sure to stick to the end because these tips can save you a lot of time and money. JWT stands for JSON Web Token. It's a compact and self-contained way for securely transmitting information between parties as a JSON object. Think of it as a digital passport that securely carries information between a client and a server. But to grasp why this JWT is so useful, we need to talk about what was used before this JWT took over the internet. In the past, the common authentication method was session ID. The user entered to the website, logged in with the username and a password, and if it was valid, the server was generating a session entity in the database with all the required info. Who is the user and what the user can see and do with time expiration of this session. After that, every request the user makes, he sends the session ID in the headers. The server receives it, checked the session ID, and if everything was fine, the request was accepted. Okay, great. So why this method not fit today? First, what will happen if this website decides to create a blog which is running on a new server? The session with all the info is stored in the old database, so it means that the user will need to log in for the new blog and create another session on the new server. In addition, nowadays microservices architecture is very common. Just imagine how many sessions the user will need. Second, with session, every request the user makes, we need to fetch the session info from the server. It can lead to a massive load on the DB. You may ask, how does JWT work? The general flow is almost the same. The user logs into the website with a username and password. Again, if it is valid, the server returns a JWT and the user sends the JWT in every request. Here's the great idea. JWT is generated with a secret. It can be stored in the system and used by multiple servers. The server takes this secret and an input. We'll see what it is in the next section. It includes the header and the payload, and use hashing algorithm to create the signature that indicates that this JWT is valid. Now, when we have the JWT, every server that has this secret can take it and check its validity by executing the same hashing function. Now, let's look at the anatomy of a JWT. The first one is header. Contains metadata about the type of token and the hashing algorithm used. Payload. This is where the actual data is stored, like user ID or permissions. Usually we have exp attribute, which stands for expiration, and IAT, issue date, when the token was created. The last part is the signature, to ensure the integrity of the token. A signature is created by using a secret key known only to the server. Okay. We need to stop now and see JWT.io. We cannot create a video about JWT without mentioning this website. In this website, we provide a JWT and decode all the parts of it. As you can see here, we have the header, payload, and a signature, and they are separated by a period. This is a great point to see the best practices. Pay attention because this is the most important part of this video. First, when a token is provided, we can decode it, and like us, everyone can do it as well. So this is why we must not store any sensitive data in the payload, like credit card info and so on. Second, we send the payload with every request, and we have the capability and the ability to put whatever we want in the payload. We must to make sure we keep it short without many attributes. Too long JWT will take longer to transmit over the internet and cause slower user experience. The last point is to take the hashing algo from the server and not from the JWT. If we take it from the JWT header, an attacker can manipulate it to generate any JWT he wants with all the permissions in the world. That's it. If you got any value from this video, please like and help us reach more backend developers like you. See you in the next one!